Okay, let's be honest. You hear the term artificial intelligence thrown around everywhere, right? It's in the news, it's on your phone, it's going to change the world. But what if I asked you to define it? Like, right now. What is it? It sounds simple, but it's a super tricky question, and today we're going to crack it.
No, really, what is it? It's one of those things, you know? It feels so solid until you actually try to grab onto it, and then poof, it's like smoke. The reason it's so confusing is because AI isn't just one thing. It's a whole universe of different, sometimes competing ideas. So, let's draw a map.
So, to get our heads around this, here's the game plan. First, we'll look at the AI puzzle itself. Then, I'll show you two key dimensions that help organize the chaos. After that, we'll reveal the four main approaches to AI and wrap up with why knowing all this actually matters.
All right, let's dive right in with that puzzle. So why is defining AI so tough? Well, it's not because it's some big, unknowable secret. It's kind of the exact opposite problem. See, the issue isn't a lack of definitions. It's that there are way too many. If you ask a bunch of AI researchers, you'll get a bunch of different answers. You've got some trying to build a machine that thinks just like a person, with feelings and quirks. Then you've got others who just want a computer that can crush the world chess champion. They could not care less how it thinks as long as it wins. To make any sense of this, we need a system, a way to sort all these different goals.
And it turns out there's a really neat way to do that. We can organize pretty much every definition of AI along two key dimensions. Think of these as the X and Y axes for our map of the AI universe.
Okay, so our first dimension is all about how we measure success. What's the gold standard? On one hand, you have human fidelity. Basically, is the system trying to act like a person? Does it think like us, talk like us? On the other hand, you have ideal rationality. This has nothing to do with being human. This is about being perfect. Is the system making the absolute best, most logical choice possible in any situation?
Our second dimension is about what we're focused on. Are we looking at the inside or the outside? So on one side, we're focused on thought processes. We care about what's happening under the hood. How is the machine reasoning? What's going on in its mind? But on the other side, we only care about behavior, the external action. Who cares what it's thinking? Did it make the right move? That chess example is perfect for this. Do we just want it to win the game, or do we want it to win by thinking like a human grandmaster?
Okay, so we've got our two dimensions, right? Human versus rational, and thought versus behavior. So, what happens when we combine them? Well, this is the big reveal. This is where everything clicks into place, and the whole messy field of AI suddenly makes a ton of sense. Boom, here it is. This simple 2x2 grid is our key. When you cross those two dimensions, you get these four distinct boxes, these four different approaches to AI, and just about every AI system you've ever heard of fits neatly into one of them. This is our map, so let's explore it, quadrant by quadrant.
So let's start in the top left corner, thinking humanly. The goal here is, wow, it's a big one. It's about building machines that actually think the way we do. We're not just talking about getting the right answer. We're talking about mimicking the entire messy, beautiful process of human thought.
And this quote from Hagelund in 1985 just nails it. The exciting new effort to make computers think, machines with minds in the full and literal sense. I mean, goosebumps, right? To even attempt this, scientists have to dive deep into cognitive science, trying to figure out how our own brains work so they can recreate it in silicon.
Okay, moving down a box, we get to acting humanly. Now, this approach is way more practical. It's the fake it till you make it of AI. The idea is, who really cares how it thinks, as long as its actions are indistinguishable from a human's? This is where the famous Turing test lives. If you're chatting with something and you can't tell if it's a person or a machine, well, the machine passes.
And this quote sums up that practical mindset perfectly. The study of how to make computers do things at which, at the moment, people are better. See, it's not about creating a soul in the machine. It's about results. Modern chatbots, those language translation apps on your phone, they live right here. The goal is just to build stuff that can do a job as well as a person can.
All right, let's jump across the grid to the top right, thinking rationally. Now, this approach says, forget about humans. We're messy, we're emotional, we're often totally irrational. This approach is all about pure, perfect logic. It's based on what philosophers used to call the laws of thought. The goal is to build a system that reasons perfectly, without any of our human baggage.
As this quote from Winston says, it's all about the study of the computations that make it possible to perceive, reason, and act. In other words, it's about the math. This field is all about logic, creating flawless models of the world, and then making deductions that are provably 100% correct.
And that brings us to our last box, the bottom right, acting rationally. And I gotta say, this is probably the most dominant, most important approach in AI today. It takes the goal of perfect, rational performance, but focuses it on action in the real world. The whole idea is to build things called rational agents.
Nilsson's quote here is just so clean. AI is concerned with intelligent behavior in artifacts. It's about creating systems that do the smart thing to get the best result. Think about a self-driving car picking the safest path, or Netflix recommending the exact movie you'll love. That's a rational agent. It doesn't have to think like you, it just has to act in a way that achieves its goal perfectly.
Okay, so we've been on a tour of these 4 quadrants: thinking humanly, acting humanly, thinking rationally, and acting rationally. But why should you care? What's the point? Well, this little grid is actually your new superpower for understanding the AI world exploding all around us. Because now, you have the toolkit. The next time you see some crazy headline about an AI breakthrough, you can actually decipher it. You can ask yourself, okay, which box does this fit in? Are they trying to mimic a human brain? Or are they just building a super efficient rational agent? This framework lets you slice right through the marketing hype and see what's really happening. You'll understand that AI isn't just one thing. It's a whole collection of different, sometimes competing, goals.
And all of this leaves us with one huge final question. Now that we have this map and we see these different paths forward, which one are we aiming for? As we build these incredibly powerful systems, what is the ultimate goal? Are we trying to create a digital reflection of ourselves? Or are we building something totally new, a different kind of intelligence, one that's purely rational, maybe even alien? That, right there, is the question we all need to start thinking about.